So good afternoon, my friends from all over the world. Thank you very much for being here with me. Today I'm going to read Are You Holistically Healthy from Peter Gerlach, a perspective and a checklist. Okay? As always, I will leave the links down below. Okay? So the point is I'm doing this for myself, and if you want to do this, you can listen to me and we do it together. Okay? So skipping the first two paragraphs. This is one of the series of the articles on lesson 1. Premise. Any person or family can be judged to be somewhere between holistically healthy, fully functional, and holistically unhealthy, dysfunctional. Holistical, usually spelled HOLISTIC, means mental, spiritual, emotional, and physically sovereign, I would add. Sovereign. That's very important. Okay? Health means functioning, growing at a natural human potential. Judging, this is subjective. So the goal is to achieve your maximum potential and share it with the world, okay? This website also ranks relationships and families as ranging between low nurturing and high nurturing. High nurturing means consistently filling all family members' current and long-term primary needs well enough. This article offers A brief perspective on holistic health, and B, a checklist of holistic health traits. Use the checklist to estimate whether you or someone else is usually guided by your true self or not. Use this related checklist to sharpen your estimate. This article assumes that you are familiar with the introduction to this website and the premises it's based upon. I already did the videos about that. And if you link on the links down below, you can always read what I'm reading, okay? Grown within children, okay, GWCs, personality subselves, and traits of a holistical healthy family. Okay, premises. See if you agree with these ideas. Adult raising minors kids share responsible for filling their and their dependents' kids' development and family adjustment needs well enough, and for motivating each other, family members, especially minor kids, to assume responsibility for filling their own needs as an adult. I agree with this, but the problem is that if they have a very low, or the issue is that, or the challenge is that dysfunctional families are so deep into conditioning and into addiction, is the basically another way of saying is that it is the allegory of the cave. They are so inside the cave, so inside the addiction and the conditioning, that they don't understand energetically what is going on. So it is actually the people with the higher consciousness, that I've already done a video about that has to take the lead. So the energetical lead, okay? The functionality of any family or group is directly proportional to the holistic health of its leaders, which depends how often their true selves guide their dynamical subselves. People guided by their true self will have more traits of holistic health below than people often controlled by self-self. If this is true, then adults working to reduce psychological wounds, lesson 1, will significantly improve their homes and families' holistic health and nurturance level over time. For sobering perspectives, see these recent research summaries about epidemic of self-neglect among Americans and the toxic effects of growing up in a risky low-nurturing families, and implication it has typical Americans aren't very interested in personal family holistic health. That implies that typical Americans are ruled by a false self. A common sign of psychological wounds is reality distortion, including denial. Many wounded people agree that striving for holistic health is important, yet they deny, minimize, joke about, or justify living unhealthy lifestyles. Does that describe you? No, not at all. There is something in me that always higher, bigger, better, healthier. I couldn't do it any other way. That's actually what my soul demands. Can you think of a holistic, healthy, well-balanced person? Not really. No, not really. What criteria do you use to judge it? Well, I don't use criteria, I feel it. So, I really feel it. And I feel I feel it, yes. Is one of their true selves usually guides them in calm and conflictual situations. Would people who know you well describe you as holistically healthy? Well, for that they have to be healthy anyways, because they most of people, they live in the future and the past. They don't live in the present moment, so they cannot, if they have never met or if they've never been in the situation of being holistic healthy, they cannot recognize one. It's like you need to be intelligent to recognize intelligence, isn't it? So I think this is difficult. You really need to, and I understand that Peter Gerlach is a man, so he does not have access to his intuition, and that's why women, they feel it, whether it makes sense or not. It's their intuition. Okay, use this worksheet to evaluate your current holistic health, and B, the odds you are psychologically wounded. This is one of the several checklists to help you to assess the later accurately. You can also use this to assess the health of wounds of another child. Well, he also suggests to, when you have a relationship with a person that is you want to have a long future with, or a serious relationship, both of them need to sit down and do this as a exercise of commitment to the relationship. Okay, and I agree with that. If the person that you are together with doesn't want to do it, then he's not willing to be holistically healthy, to have a beautiful relationship. It's that easy. Okay, you have to then become the Queen of Swords and say, this is it, I'm not interested anymore. Okay. Symptoms of holistic health. See how many of these you can constantly check through now. Listen to what your sub-selves say. Your self-talk as you mold these statements. This checklist is illustrative and random, not comprehensive or prioritized. Okay. 1. I usually get enough strength, aerobic, physical exercise now. True. I sleep long enough and soundly enough most nights. True. I eat a diet that is well balanced in nutrition, frequency, and quality. Yes, I follow ketogenic diet. I've already done a video about that. If you guys, I will link the link down below. I follow 3 doctors on YouTube. Dr. Wong. I don't know how to say his name, or I forgot. Dr. Darren Schmidt and Dr. Berg. So they do. Basically, they talk about the benefits of fasting and following a ketogenic diet, lowering your insulin and glycemic values as low as possible. Because like this, in order to do the law of attraction and hermetics, you need to have the oil that is created in the pituitary gland go down the spine and go up. And when that oil goes up, you have to be extremely healthy. And from that, you need to determine which nutrients you need to eat daily, the amount of magnesium, zinc, copper, and other nutrients and vitamins and amino acids. And you can also do that by doing astro nutrition. There is a book also in the same video called The 12 Salts of Salvation. And because our gestation period is 9 months and the year has 12, there are 3 months missing. It means that there are 3 salts missing, and you need to know which food has each salt. And according to the moon and other planets, you are going to have a depletion of certain salts. So you have to be aware, according to your energies, which ones do you need to eat the most. Okay, to always to be sharp, physically, mentally, spiritually, creatively, and emotionally. Okay, and all these categories are all energies. Okay, the healthier you are, the faster it is to learn by spirit. Okay. 4. I weigh what I should for my weight and body type. 5. I relaxed often enough without significantly guilt or anxiety. True. I usually enjoy the work I do and the people I work with. I am constantly motivated to regular physical, eye, and dental checkups. I'm usually there is about the dental checkups. There is a nice video from Dr. John Tennant. He has a video about the goal, or why do we have, why are the teeth and why do teeth rotten, and he figured out that the reason why the teeth are rotten is exactly because of point 3 is that most people do not eat the necessary nutritions in order to have a balanced pH, and that makes the body go and get the energy from the teeth, okay, in order to compute or to transform or to understand their emotions, okay. I will leave the link down below, and I will also do a summary about that, okay. Number 8. I'm usually comfortable with the balance between working, resting, and playing. Also, there is another point is that in order to become healthy, you have to be in a healthy environment. So if you are among crazy people, or people that are, as Peter Gerlach say, led by a false self, okay, by like Kautzwelle calls demons, okay, they are not healthy, they are not pure. It means that you really need to find a safe environment in security, a sacred one, in order to do this journey, okay? And as Bruce Lipton says, to become the independent self. And how is the new age an empowered sovereignty individual, okay? Number 9, I don't need to rely on chemicals, including nicotine and exercise, fat, sugar, caffeine, prescription drugs, and compulsive activity, and or another person to maintain my daily tranquility and security. True. But what I did too, I left all my family behind, because it was unbearable, okay? And they are tough decisions you need to take in order to become this person you want to become, okay? Number 10, I feel clear on my current life priorities, and I usually live according to them. 11, I am clear on the difference between my surface needs and primary needs, and I can usually discern between them to help problem solve effectively. Yes, it is very important to understand what is the redundant from the priorities, okay? I have friends that the house is perfect, but their health is miserable, okay? So they have their priorities wrong, okay? Yes, okay. Number 12, I regularly choose to spend periods meditating, praying, journaling, worshipping, and on reflecting without feeling significantly guilty or anxiety about doing so. Okay. I often feel peaceful and serene versus numb, despite upsets, doubts, and conflicts. 14. I know what my specific personal gifts, talents, and limits are, and I am clear on what my life's mission is, or I'm getting clear on my life purpose over time. Yes, it is when you meet a new person, it's very important to figure out if they have this point in their mind. Okay, number 14. If their point is only to play, to have those metrics of lack, the matrix of lack games, maybe it's not the right person for you, okay? 15. I have one of my hobbies that I enjoy regularly, alone and or with others. Recall, these are common traits of holistic health and true self-guidance. I feel comfortable with my recent balance of focusing time and energy on the past, the present, and the future. I feel confident I can grieve key losses, broken psychological and spiritual bonds, healthily and completely now. I am learning how to effectively now. I have an unvarying spiritual faith and in an accessible, nourishing versus shaming higher power, and regularly devote time to nurturing and being nurtured by that relationship. I have several true friends that I trust and enjoy spending time with. I barely laugh frequently during an average week. I seldom feel significantly ashamed, guilty, fearful, enraged, depressed, panicked, or confused. I can usually name what I'm feeling, and I frequently know why. It is very important for empaths to do an energy cleansing. So for that, we need isolation and balancing, and because at least for my experience, I calibrate myself emotionally. Okay, sometimes it takes me weeks. It depends on the other person. But if the person is also extremely healthy, I don't really need to do this. Okay, I know when I need help, and I can usually ask for it and accept it. I am very clear on my personal rights as a dignified, unique person, and I assert them effectively when I need to. Okay, we can't forget that the word assert is the masculine energy. So I've already done videos about this. One is from Dr. Manuel Schmidt, that he did the Bill of Rights and the glossary of assertiveness. Okay, so the way that the male energy says no is different from the way that the feminine energy says no. I will also leave the links from my videos and the respective sources down below. So the man says no assertively, but the female energy says you find your feeling, you shift it to warmth, and then you state it. I feel that, ... Okay, you have to find your feeling, okay? It is different. And depending, for example, my daughter complains that during the day I'm cold and during the night I'm warmer. And I told her that I've observed my behaviors that when I'm nice to her during the day, she abuses, she does not respect my boundaries. And I told her that when I'm nice to you, if you want me to be being nice to you and sweet, you cannot abuse because you see it as a weakness. And that's the point. We are on the point that if you want the feminine energy to be nice and sweet and tender, the feminine energy needs to be in security. If as soon as it's being disrespected and using the technique of the female energy is not being respected, the feminine energy is going to switch to the masculine energy. Okay. However, this works in the short run, but not in the long run, because the individual that has mainly the feminine energy blossoms on the feminine energy. Okay, so the family or the relationship or the couple needs to understand immediately the boundaries in order so that each person needs to blossom. Okay, if you didn't understand this point, you can ask me. I will explain it better in another video. Okay. 27. I know how to win-win problem solving with other people and steadily invite others to do it with me. Yes. 28. I can quote the serenity prayer or equivalent and use them when appropriate. Okay. Serenity prayer. I can clearly tell when my true self is guiding me. 30. Most mornings I wake up refreshed and eager for the day. 31. I do not depend on medication, including food, for my sleep, digestion, or serenity. Yes, it is easier to reach this in a ketogenic diet. You gain a capacity of saying no much stronger. Okay. 32. I am comfortable enough with intimacy, sensuality, and my sexuality, and I enjoy these gifts without major guilt, anxiety, obsession. I enjoy my current life well enough. There is nothing major I wish to change now. I took my time with this checklist and I feel pleased, calmed, and satisfied enough as I finish it. There is nothing here I would feel uncomfortable sharing with important others. True. Awareness. Okay, this is it. So thank you very much for listening to me. This is the second time I'm doing this. So thank you very much for listening to me. I hope this was helpful. It was to me. Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and for donations there is the link down below. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye.